Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, second attempt. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know I have point-to-point internet, so it's kind of garbage, especially when we had storms today. So we're gonna try this for a second time. We're gonna start with the BTC 4-hour. BTC 4-hour, as of right now, I talked about similarly how we're having this heavy resistance at the $21,000 range. Currently, right now, if we just look at the indicators, the MACD is about ready to have a bearish crossover. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you can see it. They're about to have a bearish crossover in the MACD. RSI is still pretty high, so I'd be keeping an eye on that for the short term. I think we might see that pull back down to the 618 at around 21,000. Inevitably, though, I think the highest that we go is around 22.6 to 23,000. That's going to squeeze out all the shorts, and then the hammers are going to come in. So for short term for BTC, I'm going to be looking for a slight retracement down to the 618 at 21,000, or even down to the main support at 20,500. Then one more large push up to around 22,005 to 23, and then I think the hammer's gonna be coming down after that. But on the short term right now, we are about ready to have a bearish crossover on the MACD, which indicates to me a crossover to the downside, especially with the way this looks. And I'm gonna jump over to the 1 day real quick and take a quick look at that. On the 1 day, very similar. You can see we currently are still growing on the MACD. We're not close to having a bearish crossover on the day. RSI still has room to run as well. If I draw a normal mean where we normally tag out on the RSI, in the recent history on BTC, we still have room to go up there as well, up to 64. So on the day, I want to be looking for that run up to the 382 area at the top, which is that 22,645. Just so 22,000, 23,000 is what I think BTC is going to be heading up to, and then we're going to start seeing that hammer on the push down. That could be happening towards the beginning to middle of this week. I think this week's would be a very critical very critical for BTC on some volatility. So as of right now, the day is still moving in a bullish momentum, but short-term 4-hour is about ready to have that bearish crossover. So we might be seeing some movement. As of right now, I think it's just working on squeezing out some more shorts. We're gonna have one more short squeeze, and then I think from there we're gonna be seeing some big capitulations on BTC either this week or towards the end of this week. I think we're gonna be seeing some pretty decent movement in the market, guys. So yeah, I'm back. I'm giving it one more try, Z. So that's BTC. As of right now, I'm going to do Quant. Jump onto Quant. So Quant, I charted Quant this morning, talking about this $108 area where we really need to keep an eye on. I was talking about possibly having that bearish the bearish fake out there. It looks like everything played out pretty dang good. We currently got rejected at this 108 resistance level, which is also the 0.5. If I zoom in a little bit closer, you can see we're still battling out there. The RSI has room to run. We just had a bullish crossover on the MACD, so a little bit more movement to the upside possibly. I think I talked about going up to possibly 110, 115 for the top for Quant, and then pushing back down. I'm currently not looking to pick up any Quant until it gets at least down to 60. Who knows, it might not ever go down to 60. If so, I'm comfortable with the amount of Quant that I'm holding into the bull run. But for the right now, what we really need to focus on is this 108, which we're currently battling at for Quant. If we get rejected from here at the 108, I think that would actually be beneficial. That would let the RSI reset, let us cool down, let us stop by the Moon Juice factory and pick up some more Moon Juice. But for the short term, if we get rejected at 108, we're going to be testing the 618, and that could see a double test there, and then a retracement down to this double support, the 618 main support area. If we do break above this 108, I just think we can see a brief pump up to 110 and possibly a wick through the 382, but inevitably I do think Quant is going to be retracing at least to the 618 at 103 to a max of 97. That 100 has been very, very critical for Quant. That's been acting as a very large support for Quant, and I think once we head back down to 100, we'll see some volatility around there as well. I mean, Quant goes against BTC, as we've known. When BTC's been crapping to bed, Quant has been running 15%. And since August 8th till August 6th, we actually had a reversal right here where we were in a downtrend, and we recently put in a higher high here. So we do have some bullish momentum going for Quant as well. But for short term right now, I think the price we really need to keep an eye on is 108. If we break above 108, I think we can head up to around 110, 115. But if we head up that high, we'll be oversold on the RSI. MACD would be, it'd play out this movement, and then I think we'd see a decent size retracement, at least back down to 100, and then we'd assess the situation at that time. So that's on the 4-hour. Let's look at the day real quick, see what the day is showing for Quant. So similar to the 4 hour here, we're getting rejected the 0.5 at 109. Unlike the 4 hour though, we look at the MACD, we still have a lot of room we could possibly run. The RSI is only at 55. We're only halfway there, and we tend to run up towards 70 on the day. So that run up there, if I tag this in with the 4 hour chart, more likely than not, I'd be banking on that 110, 115 top. From here, it looks like if we break over that 0.5, we'd have that run up to the small resistance channel 382 area, which would bring us back up to pretty much the normal high that we get on quant before we start retracing. If I draw a line here on the RSI, you can see this is a normal area that we reach before we see some sort of retracement back down a decent ways for quant. But so for quant, I'd actually be more bullish on it in the short term. On the day chart, I'd be keeping an eye on approximately another 5 to 6% movement up to the 382 to 110 to 115. So with that, that kind of validates the 4 hour chart that we're looking at running above this resistance area that we're currently battling up and working our way up to that 110, 115. So main price to keep an eye on for quant is 108, and then we'll assess the situation at that time. So 108 is going to be the storyteller for quant if we're going to be going up higher or not. So that's my 2 cents of quant. So with that, we're going to look at Azro real quick. This is a coin that Chef Natron in the Discord pointed out a couple months ago, and I jumped on the bandwagon of it. It's an up and coming layer one, and I feel like it's going to be big in the next bull run. As of right now, looks, I charted it earlier today. I said we're at a double resistance at 133. MACD was pretty high at that time, and you can see I charted it earlier this morning, so about what, 10 hours ago, 12 hours ago I charted it. Since then, we've still had this movement towards a bearish crossover on the MACD, so I'm thinking we're starting to run out of that moon juice. We are getting trapped below this double resistance at the 382 and main resistance area. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on a pushback down to at least the small resistance channel at 120 or the 618 at 118. I think this would definitely be the case, more likely than not, to play the 118. Worst case scenario I see for Azro is the main support area at 112. We can actually head all the way down to the 786 and still be bullish, putting in a higher high and higher low. We recently just broke out of this downtrend that we've been on with Azro with this recent run we've had. But for the short term right now, I'm going to be kind of bearish on Azro, pulling back to around the 618 main support area. We just tested this double resistance too long, used up our moon juice, about to have a bearish crossover on the MACD, so a push down to the 618 at 118 wouldn't be a bad move. It'd actually be more beneficial for the coin. So an 8% drop on Azro I could see happening this week. That's on the 4 hour. Just take a quick look at the day and see what's going on there. Similar movement on the day, but the day is still growing up higher. You can see with this, we just got back into a bearish movement on the MACD. RSI is tailing back up, and we do tend to reach pretty high in the RSI before retracement. Yes, this is a rather new coin, but there's not a whole lot of data to go off of, but we're going to be using the data that we have in front of us right here. So you can see recently we are having a difficult time getting over this 382. You can see there's a red candle right there. So I'm still gonna bank on that pullback to the 618 right here. So I'm going to be looking for that pullback to the 618, which even on the day charts around 119, 120 ish area. So I'm going to be bearish on this in the short term, and as everyone knows, I'm bullish on this in the long term. I'm looking to load up more, as much Azro as I can at the lowest price I can possibly acquire it at. I have a decent bag right now, but I want more. I want more Azro, I want more quant, but there's a good chance I might not be able to pick up any more quant at the price that I'm looking for. So with that, I'm probably mostly focusing on Azro. Then I'm going to try to load up at around 95 to $1 range on a little bit more. I was lucky enough to pick up this wick on my last bag, but the way I think BTC is going to be crap in the bed, I think we're going to be able to see one more great buying opportunity for a lot of altcoins in the near future. So yeah, so that's my thought on Azro. Just bearish in the short term, down to the 618 at around 120. So with that, we have VXV. Let's see what VXV's been up to. So Vector Space AI VXV is actually up quite a bit today, 10.4% at 35 cents. I've charted this coin quite a bit in the past, and the thing that I like about it is the total supply is only 50 million, and they have a good chunk of that total supply in circulation at 37 million. So it's a definite moonshot gamble if it survives the bear market and enters the bull run. If it continues developing and growing, you can see the market cap's only 13 million, so that's ridiculously small in the crypto space. All-time high in this was 1919 about a year ago. All-time low was 3 years ago at 1.2 cents. So if you would have held this coin for 3 years, you'd be up 2,000 600% on your investment. This coin's currently available on the following exchanges down here. I believe it's also available on Coinbase. So let's get into the TA on VXV. So VXV had this decent sized run right here. So it looks like we actually bottomed out something. I think I remember charting this the last live stream and saying like this was a very critical price area, because if we zoom out and take a longer look, VXV has been in a very, very long downtrend. I mean, this is on KuCoin right now. So ever since it's been on KuCoin, it's been crap in the bed. And this is the lowest it's ever been on KuCoin. So we're kind of going in uncharted territory on KuCoin. I don't want to use the Uniswap stuff because the data is going to be all jacked up. So as of right now, if we just look at the general trend here, we had this really nice run up. This is the normal average that we reach on the RSI. Let's draw some fibs on this. We're on the day right now. We're going to actually go to the 4 hours so we get a little bit more data here. Blow up this MACD. So yeah, we had a decent sized run up here for VXV, currently getting rejected at the main resistance at 35. RSI still has room to run, but if you look at the general area here, yeah, it looks like VXV still has some more room to run on the RSI, but we're hitting a resistance area. Let's draw some fibs and chalk this up a little bit. Yeah, this is what we're going to be going off of right here. Bottom to top. Briefly wicked above the resistance at the 382. So this area is technically a double resistance area, but the great thing about that is you can see you have a really thick support channel just below this where you guys are currently at. You guys are currently testing the top of the support channel. If we zoom in and take a closer look at this, you can see the candles right at 618 here at around 34 cents. 34 cents for a retest of this resistance level. If we do break below 34 cents, the next stop's the 786 at 32. I don't own any VXV, and this is not financial advice, but if I wanted VXV, I just put a buy-in order at the 786. If it got hit, it got hit. If not, so be it. I think altcoins are going to be seeing one more great buy opportunity when Bitcoin shits the bed. But for the short term right now, let's keep an eye on the 618 retracement to 34, and if that breaks the 786. Okay. Let's see. 1 second. Technical difficulties. Always technical difficulties. So I don't know if I'm back or not, but for the short term, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the 618 retracement down to the 786, and then possibly move back up to test this double resistance area, and then we'll assess the situation at that time.